Welcome to Category 5 Technology TV, episode number 342 for Tuesday, the 8th of April, 2014. They've finally done it. Microsoft has cut off Microsoft Windows XP. And if you're angry about that fact, well, don't go anywhere. You don't necessarily have to replace your computer. We've got a way that you can get your old computer up and running, good as new, screaming fast, and absolutely free.
It's pretty good.
Very good. Oh, also, tonight we are on the Roku.
Ooh.
We are on Roku, ladies and gentlemen, so welcome. If you are watching from a Roku device, nice to have you here. Kelsey Jensen, everybody.
Thank you for having me back.
Good to see you.
So, here's what's coming up in the newsroom. Thanks to the whole Windows XP thing, some organizations are ditching Windows altogether and making the switch to Linux. A security exploit gives low-skill hackers direct security clearance access to over 7,600 power plants all over the world. When we hear that a bug has caused Mazda to recall 42,000 vehicles, we typically think they're talking about a computer problem. But this time, it's not a computer bug, it's an arachnid. Oh no. And finally, Microsoft Xbox Live service was owned by a 5-year-old. Stick around, these stories are coming up later in the show.
Awesome, thanks Kelsey. Now I know we've got a little bit of screen flicker tonight. I apologize for that. Hey, if you can stick it out, it's okay. We know that it's there, and unfortunately I don't know if there's anything that we can do with it while we're live, but we'll definitely make sure that we resolve it in time for next week's show. I think it's minor enough that we're going to be able to do a great show for you, so don't go anywhere. This is going to be an awesome show.
This is Category 5 Technology TV. Starring Sasha Dermatis, Hillary Rumble, Krista Wells, Eric Kidd, and your host, Robbie Ferguson.
This is Category 5 Technology TV. Hey, it's so nice to have you here. I'm Robbie.
I'm Kelsey. Category5.tv is a member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Cat5.tv. Where'd it go?
Where'd it go? It's right there.
TPN. And
it's cat5.tv/TPN.
And the International Association of Internet Broadcasters, cat5.tv/IAIB.
To be fair, we have so much to cover tonight that the font is very, very tiny.
It is tiny. I lost it.
I love that she literally out loud said, "Where'd it go? Where'd it go?" Okay, follow along with your finger. Okay. Category5.tv t-shirts are available for you in our Category 5 merch store. It's shop.category5.tv. Shop.category5.tv. Hey, our t-shirts are really fantastic. If you're new here, you want to get one while they last, get on over to shop.category5.tv and pick up an awesome Category 5 t-shirt. As mentioned, in the Category 5 TV is now on the Roku. I'm very excited to be a part of that platform. Sorry for the crazy flicker, folks.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to bear with me, right? Even if you're watching on Roku, if you're watching however you're watching, if you're on our website, category5.tv, just forgive the flicker. It's okay. We've got, I'll show you, we have crammed the technology tonight, and I guarantee you what you're seeing here is that we're pushing the tech as far as it will possibly go.
All the way to the limit.
All the way, because we have so many Linux distros running all at once. So that we can take a look at these tonight. We want to show you all these Linux distributions so that you can see what is available.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. And so we want to show you because Linux is an alternative to Microsoft Windows, to Mac OS, and it's absolutely free.
Which is very good.
Yeah, so forgive the flicker. I know we're pushing the limits tonight. I think the sound is good. You're going to be able to see the screen. We're going to be able to see the Roku, so all the rest of it doesn't matter. It's just my head. Just say it's the shimmer of the lights off of the bald nerd. So we're on Roku, cat5.tv/Roku. We're going to talk more about it as we demonstrate our channel. I've got my Roku remote right here.
Fancy.
We're going to take a look at that tonight. We welcome all of our new viewers who are watching through Roku, both live and on demand. Tonight and over the course of the next few weeks. I know there are a lot of you. It's so nice to have you being a part of the show, and we invite you to join our community. Get over to category5.tv and sign up for a free account there. It's how you can participate in contests, prize giveaways. We do those here on the air, and even if you're watching on Roku, you can qualify for those prizes. Also, get into the chat room if you're watching live. It's Category 5 on Freenode, or of course you can head on over to live.cat5.tv and you'll see a link there, or just go to our main website, category5.tv. I'll throw it up on the screen for you. There it is, and you'll find the links under the Interact menu. We have a mobile site as well if you want to watch it through your mobile device. There you go, m.cat5.tv, or scan that QR code. Hold it up to your big screen TV. You're watching on the Roku, scan it. You can have all your devices, every last one of them.
Every single one of them.
Surround flicker. How cool. Okay.
Pretty good.
So can you believe Windows XP is officially dead?
It's gone. I can't remember time without it. Like, I remember when I was younger, Windows XP on my family computer. And
yeah, for me it was
it?
DOS 3. Okay. All right. I see what actually before, yeah. VIC 20. Anyone can relate? Yeah, XP has been around for a long time. It's 2001
that's
that it came out.
Pretty old.
It blows my mind that it has been running on desktop computers, laptop computers for that long. Like, we're talking 13 years.
13 years.
Facebook has been around as long as you can probably remember.
Well,
it's been around for a long time. Facebook came out 3 years after Windows XP. iPhones. Nowadays, when we're designing websites, and we mentioned our mobile website, you use your iPhone or whatever other device, but an iPhone was not even announced for another 6 years after XP came out. They had not even announced the first release of the iPhone for 6 full years. Google was just a small little company. I mentioned it before. A privately held company with about 400 employees.
It's just a baby.
That's where they were at when Windows XP came out. So if you take advantage, you're watching this on your high-speed internet connection tonight, imagine the big news, the huge news when Windows XP came out that time in 2001 was from US Robotics, who had released their V92 56K modem.
Wow.
Remember those? There weren't no internet video back then. So that's where XP has come from. So people say to me, well, why is it being deprecated? Why are they cutting off XP when it still works just fine? It's that old.
It's 13 years.
People got to move on. We have to move on. The society of computer users has to move on. Agamotto says that Windows XP was one of the things that made him actually go Linux.
Change to Linux.
And that's surprising you would say that, because tonight we have a question from a wonderful viewer. I wonder if you can touch on that.
Yep.
This is from Thorneo.
Thorneo. He says, my mom needs to replace XP. What Linux distro could she use? And how can I make it look like Linux, like XP, so they don't get scared by it?
Okay. I'm going to touch the question, but I have to do this, Kelsey.
What?
Linux. She's new here, folks.
It's Linux.
She's new.
Linux.
So it's okay. Linux.
Linux.
People say Linus Torvalds,
Yeah.
the creator of Linux, but actually in his home dialect, it's Linus Torvalds.
Oh.
So then you think
Linux.
but Linus says Linux, and he's the guy who created it, so he's got to be right.
Oh, yeah.
He says Linux.
Linux. E sound.
Okay.
Linux. Okay.
Whew. Now that we got that out of the way,
Sorry about
that is more serious, folks, than the flicker. So, okay. So you've got Linux, you've got Windows XP. It's the classic scenario. We wanted to read your question there, Thorneo, because your mom is in the same boat as so many other people.
Oh, yeah.
Windows XP is gone. Today's the day, April 8th, 2014.
Doesn't do anything anymore.
You can keep running it, but then you are absolutely unsafe. I can't stress enough that if you keep using Windows XP, you are basically opening yourself up to be exploited. And when I say that, I mentioned it on the show previously. If you think that you are not susceptible to those attacks because, hey, I'm just Robbie, or I'm just Kelsey, or I'm just insert
Whatever.
name here. The fact is that these hacker exploits are going through IP addresses like a phone book. And eventually they're going to get to you. They don't care who you are.
They don't care that you've got a couple kids and...
Nothing. They don't care that you can't afford to upgrade your computer, for example. Okay? You've got Windows XP. I can't go out and spend another $1,000 buying a new computer. I just bought this one 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and it still works. Why should I have to replace it? That's where a lot of people are right now. But you can't keep running Windows XP. That's not the solution. Plain
Yes.
and simple. So tonight we're going to show you some alternatives, and I kind of alluded to it. Linux is a free operating system, and it allows you to wipe out everything on your computer and install a replacement operating system. You think, oh, I'd love to do that with Windows 7. I'd love to put Windows 7 on my old computer or Windows 8 on my old computer, but it's not going to happen.
It's not free.
It's not free, for one thing. You're absolutely right. But here's the thing. You buy the license. So let's say we went with Windows 7 because we wanted to breathe new life into our old computer. Buy the license. Might be a couple of $100. You might get it on a deal or whatever. By the time you get it, you get your stuff backed up, you get your operating system installed, then you realize you need more RAM because your computer actually doesn't have enough specifications in order to run the new operating system. And then you got it working, but you've spent $400, and then you need to hire someone or have somebody transfer all your files back, and you're down for days upon days, and
In that time.
you've spent so much money.
And in that time, something could have happened.
Surely. But also, you are still running this old 6-year-old computer with a newer operating system, so it's dog slow. Horrible experience, and what was it worth? You just sank $400 into it.
Mm-hmm.
So then people say, okay, well, for $600 I can buy a really decent computer, brand new, with a, maybe a 1, 2, 3 year warranty on it. That makes more sense because I'm spending just a little bit more getting a brand new system. I can put that old one into e-waste or just store it if I ever need access to it or whatever. Not safe to boot up, but maybe you've got files on there. So fact is that it's still going to cost you a lot of money. Tonight I want to show you some alternatives because one of the things that Microsoft doesn't want you to know is that there are other options. People have said, oh, well, what if I switch to Mac? Why don't I just switch to Mac? Well, then you're doing the exact same thing. You're having to buy new hardware. It's licensed software, and your programs, you probably won't be able to transition the same programs over, and then you've got the whole learning curve thing. So if you're going to do the little bit of learning curve anyway, you're going to do that with Windows 7, Windows 8, Mac. Doesn't matter. There's a bit of a learning curve. Might as well take a look at Linux. Absolutely free. So let's do that. I have 6 different Linux distributions installed on this computer right now. So we're going to start with number 1, and this is called Q4OS. And I didn't want to discredit Q4OS, which is a brand new operating system. I wanted you Windows XP users to see how similar Linux can look to Windows XP. This is, it's notable enough that I wanted to show it to you. It feels a lot like Microsoft Windows, but it's not Windows, it's Linux, so the software is a little bit different. But what I want to think about is, what do you use your computer for, Kelsey?
My computer's mostly used for homework and watching YouTube videos,
YouTube, okay.
Netflix, things like that.
Netflix is the one that might get you.
Might get me?
But you're going to get a Roku anyway.
Of
course. So looking at Linux, what's different is that it's alternative software. So homework and stuff, you've got Linux-based free Office clone suite to replace Microsoft Office. Don't forget, if you upgrade to Windows 7, you've got to buy Microsoft Office too, because Office 2003 and before has been deprecated as well. So now on Linux, we've got an alternative. It'll work with your Word docs, your Excel spreadsheets, your PowerPoint files, all for free. Internet is a given. You've got your web browser. You've got the ability to surf the web just like you normally would. You can go to YouTube, and you've got access to everything just like you would, because a lot of stuff these days is web-based. Right? This one's a little bit slow, and so Q4 OS looks a lot like Windows XP, but it's probably not the one for you because it is young. I say Q4 OS is more for somebody who perhaps is a bit of somebody who has used Linux, wants to play around, wants to make something look like Windows XP. It's a little bit young. So let's move on. Let's check out what's next. Next up is Point Linux. This is my distribution of choice. It's based on Debian, and Debian's another distribution. This is what's I want to kind of share with you about distributions, because Linux comes in all different flavors, is what they call them. So where you used to be used to Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows Vista, and Windows Millennium Edition and 98. These are different versions. Whereas Linux, you're going to have all the same versions, but different flavors. So a different company has developed this Linux. A different company has developed that Linux. But they're all Linux. And they're all free. A lot of the time.
Free is pretty good.
The ones that I'm looking at are all free. So this is Point Linux. I like it because I am old school, and I like the old school look of it. And I am good at Linux, so I don't mind that sometimes things break. Sometimes things aren't exactly where you want them, and you have to move them. It gives me control. So if you're a Linux user already, I recommend you check out Point Linux. A note that I will be posting links in the show notes, for episode number 342. You'll be able to follow all the links for all these distributions and actually download them to your computer. So Point Linux comes with a lot of stuff. This is out of the box. I'll show you LibreOffice Writer, which is a Microsoft Word clone, and works with your Word documents and is, in all essences, a replacement for Microsoft Word.
Oh.
So it looks like it. It's a word processor, right?
Does what you need it to do.
Exactly. And works with all these file formats.
Microsoft Word?
Microsoft Word, 2007, 2003, 97 XP, 2003, 2010, and those are just the formats. It'll still open newer ones too. And look at all this stuff. Look at all these file formats. Unlike Word, where it was like doc, right? No, this will open. You can open WordPerfect files if you wanted to. All that stuff is all there. So LibreOffice is included with a lot of different Linux distributions, including Point Linux, and is absolutely free. Comes with your graphics editing software, text editors, calculator, the basic stuff. And again, your ability to browse the web, because that's, out of the box, it's important. So I draw your attention to usability, and as an XP user, you might see that, well, that's kind of like a start menu, but it's at the top. But you'll also notice that it's a little better organized. I've got internet, and there are all my internet programs. There's not a lot of junk. You don't see any, uninstall or text readmes or help files and all this extra junk that Windows XP users are used to. No, it's internet. These are my applications. Graphics. These are my applications. Accessories. These are my applications. Very well sorted. And of course, there's my web browser, which is by default Mozilla Firefox in Point Linux. All right.
And Agamotto was wondering, what made you choose Point over Zorin?
Well, Point Linux to me is a little bit more customizable for an old school Linux user. So for those of you who are running Windows XP looking for an upgrade, maybe this isn't the one for you. But if you've been using Linux for a while, then I would suggest that you look at it. It's based on Debian 7, and it's incredibly robust. Comes with some of the great features like Compiz, which give you some nice effects and things like that. And for me, that's one of the selling points, because here on the show, for example, I need to be able to do stuff like zoom in, or do this kind of thing, or if I need to, I need to be able to do more because I do a TV show. A little bit different, but it's really robust, it's really fast, and it's rock solid because it's based on Debian. So a few different reasons. We're going to get to Zorin OS too. All right. So moving along, let's take a look at our next distro. Xubuntu. This is interesting. This one is based on Ubuntu, and I'm going to tell you a little story about Ubuntu because it is one of the probably the most famous Linux distributions right now, because it is commercially developed by Canonical. It's a company that sells support rather than software. Interesting model, right? Because we're used to Microsoft, who sell software. So you have to buy the $200 license, the $400 license. This is a version of Ubuntu called Xubuntu. You don't need to understand the idiosyncrasies. It's a little bit different than Ubuntu, but they're all run by the same company, Canonical. And the reason, the way that they make their money is through support. So it's a much different kind of business model. And you're able to take the benefit of an operating system that is rock solid. Look at that. Again, start menu, we'll call it, is at the top. It looks very much like, say, a Windows 7 kind of start menu. And you'll see that if I navigate to Internet, there are my Internet tools, Multimedia. This is out of the box. This is a fresh install. It comes with a certain suite of applications. So if I want Internet, I can click on Internet and bring up Firefox, and I'm good to go. If I want to edit graphics, I can go Graphics, and it comes with GNU Image Manipulation Program, which you've probably seen here on the show if you're a regular viewer. So there's your Internet, and you can, again, get around the Internet and do your thing. Oh, look at that. They detected me as English. All right?
Wonderful. Thank you, YouTube.
Yeah. I think that this one looks pretty sleek.
It does look very nice.
I would have to say, if you have older hardware, Xubuntu may be the way that I would lean, because one, you've got the base from Ubuntu that is really rock solid. They are commercially backed, so you know that you're always going to have good support on the operating system as far as getting the updates and security patches and things like that. But Xubuntu is much lighter weight than Ubuntu. Ubuntu is kind of heavy. This will run very well. It's XUBUNTU. Xubuntu will run very, very well on older hardware.
Well, that's always a good thing if you have an older computer.
That's the thing.
You kind of bought your computer 2001 with release event Windows XP. Still using that.
And here's a way to breathe new life into that computer. Mm-hmm. So what's different about Xubuntu is that it comes with a different suite of software, and there is a learning curve. But remember that this is absolutely free, and it comes with probably the bulk of what you're going to need to get up and running. You'll notice that there is no LibreOffice. Instead, there is a program called AbiWord. And that is, again, another alternative to Microsoft Office, but not as robust as LibreOffice. So, well, I really want LibreOffice, but I've got an old computer. So how can I do that on this system? Well, you can install, because it's Linux, you can install any Linux application on here, and it will run on your Linux computer. Just like, if your computer doesn't come with Word and you're on Microsoft Windows, you can buy Word and you can install it on your computer. So similarly, free software is available for Xubuntu or any of these Linux distributions, and you can install them. So the way that I would do that is to bring up Ubuntu Software Center. And once that comes up, keep in mind, if you see that things kind of run slow around here tonight, do keep in mind that I have that many operating systems all running simultaneously. So I'm milking the resources here tonight. In Ubuntu Software Center, this is a way that you can install software for free on your computer that runs Linux that are based on Ubuntu. So this is for Ubuntu derivatives or Ubuntu itself. So if you wanted LibreOffice, up in the search here, we could type in Libre. And let's see what comes up. And I'm having some weird keyboard stuff, probably from, again, having so many different operating systems running. But basically, that's how that works anyways. Not to take too much time on it, but this is a repository of all different types of applications. I'm going to use my mouse instead of the keyboard because I seem to be having trouble. And you can scroll through and find the applications that you want. There's LibreOffice right there. So I can click on it, and then all I have to do is click on Install, and presto blammo, your computer downloads it through the internet. No disks needed, no licensing, no having to purchase. It's absolutely free.
Definitely better than Windows.
In a lot of ways. In a lot of ways. All right, so moving on here. Now let's look at Ubuntu. Thing to note about Ubuntu and Xubuntu and all of the Buntus is that April is what's called LTS month. So this is our long-term support cycle is about to begin. So if you're going to download Ubuntu or Xubuntu, wait until the end of the month because they have a brand new version that's coming out that has an extended support cycle. So you're going to be able to use that operating system for a very long time, absolutely free.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah. So there you go. So what's different about this one? I got logged out there. I'm just going to log back in. This is Unity. It's a different interface. I feel like Unity is designed more for touchscreens. That's my impression. It does require better hardware, so probably your old computer is not going to run this quite as well. And I do find it a lot slower than some of the other interfaces. You can kind of tell that here tonight. It does have LibreOffice and everything kind of included. It has Ubuntu Software Center, so you can install more. But this is geared more toward probably, I would say, somebody who has a slightly newer computer that wants to be able to do some more graphical stuff as far as the way that the operating system works. And it does, to me, you can tell from the interface, it's not a start menu kind of idea. It's like a big button interface. To me, it feels more like a touchscreen interface.
Yeah.
Because that's the way things are going. They're going tablet. And I didn't want to discredit Ubuntu. I wanted to show you it. And you can run it in different modes, but we're looking at out-of-the-box experience. This is what it looks like out of the box.
Looks like it's got Amazon in there, too.
It does have an integration of the Amazon API, which means as you type something in, so what would you search for? Probably, what would you go to Amazon for? Any particular music?
Buying books.
So let's, book. That doesn't really. That's pretty generic. It doesn't help me.
Well,
so
that's what Amazon
it actually, as I type in book, it says, okay, well, you've got contacts, but then it also brings up all these options to search in Amazon, and then it gives you suggestions for books. That was a generic term. Let's say piano guys, because I don't have any piano guys on this computer. But so what you'll see is that, okay, now all of a sudden it's going to start suggesting some CDs that I could buy. There's The Pianist from Piano Guys, for example, and I'll probably find some results. So search is integrated into Ubuntu in that kind of Dash environment. That's not the same. It's cool.
It's cool. It's really cool.
But probably not for the older computers. No. But maybe you've got a newer computer and you're still looking for a Linux distribution to take a look at. So maybe that's the one for you. Certainly is robust, and like I said, it's backed by Canonical, a company that backs up this software, runs it for you, and the new LTS version is coming out.
And this one's still free, right?
It's free. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now people want me to take a look at Linux Mint. So I'm going to sign in here. There we go. Welcome to Linux Mint. This feels pretty Windows-esque to me until I click on the menu.
Yeah, that's not Windows.
No. And that's not a bad thing.
No.
I would say, okay, so I point to Office, and there again is LibreOffice, absolutely free and included. Remember, I have not installed anything on these computers. This is all that comes with it. So again, absolutely free. So with Linux Mint, it looks pretty polished. The edges look pretty polished up, almost as though maybe they've got a fairly strong graphic department at Linux Mint. It looks pretty good. I see a lot of gradients and stuff. I think a matter of taste. But again, this is Linux. It's customizable. I can change things like my desktop background just as easily as I can with Microsoft Windows or anything. So you can customize it. You can make it look the way that you want, as you can see there. Right. Comes with some. It's just loading up there. So click and move around. But again, it's Linux. A little bit of a different flavor. Looks fairly Windows-esque. I think that the learning curve would be reasonable. Don't mind the speed issues. That's because, again, I'm running 7 different operating systems right now simultaneously on one computer. So I don't think the learning curve there is too bad. But I think it's heavier than Xubuntu. So it's not going to perform quite as well on your older hardware. But maybe you've got a fairly new system. You know, somebody came into my office and said, "Oh, I just bought this laptop 3 years ago. And it had Windows XP on it. It was probably just one that was on the floor and still had XP. What a shame." So maybe this would be a good solution because it is a little bit sleeker, a little bit nicer looking, and certainly comes with a robust suite of applications. Might want to give Linux Mint a try. What stands out to you so far about Linux, Kelsey?
It's a lot different than Windows. It looks nicer, cleaner.
Nicer, cleaner. Quote that. Get a T-shirt.
Ubuntu, it looks basically like Windows, and then do other things. Well, this one looks just like Windows.
Linux Mint, yeah.
Linux Mint just looks just like Windows. Aside from a couple differences.
I think it's the paradigm. It's we need a desktop. And that desktop should have access to your computer and your home folder, which is, say, documents and pictures and things like that. So when I click on computer, I should have access to my file systems and so on and so forth. So it's not that it looks like Windows per se, but that the paradigm is the same. So when I click on this menu at the bottom, I expect to be presented with a list of applications. It doesn't so much matter that it's laid out differently.
Yes.
I just expect it to perform that way. Maybe that's one of the reasons that I'm uncomfortable with Ubuntu as a user. Because when I click on the menu, I expect to have a traditional style menu to some degree. I don't mind that it's different, but I want it to behave the way that I, the end user, would expect my operating system to perform. So with Linux Mint, again, it does have that, this is just my list of applications.
Yeah.
No bells and whistles. Straightforward. It's got the search. If I can't find something, I could type it in. Writer. And it's instant. Look at that. Give me an application. Firefox. Yeah, there it is. So it has all those kind of additional kind of enhancements like that, but it does have the Windows user interface. Yeah. So to speak. Should we move to the next one?
All right.
Ready for it? How many have we got?
I think we've
got one more. Last one, folks.
Woo.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present you with one that we looked at many, many years ago. This is called Zorin OS. Okay, so you're thinking about possibly upgrading to Windows 7 or getting a Windows 7 computer, but it's pretty pricey. Remember, Zorin OS is Linux. It's absolutely free. This is out of the box. Looks pretty sleek.
Yeah.
Looks like it's got Chrome instead of Firefox. I'm going to bring up my menu, and again, what am I presented with? A list of categories. So internet. There's my browser. There's instant messaging, compatible with Facebook and ICQ, IRC, AOL Instant Messenger, all the big ones. What else is there now that MSN is gone? I don't know. Thunderbird email. So the applications come with it. But again, what do you notice?
It looks quite similar to Windows.
Learning curve there. Learning curve is really, really simple. And this is free? Yeah.
It's always free.
So what are we looking for? Okay, well, let's say I don't like the background wallpaper. So me as a user, my automatic impulse is to right-click and say, okay, change desktop background. Okay, that was easy. So I've clicked on that. There we go. Notice there's some cool effects there too, eh?
Yeah.
That I don't see in Windows. So what am I looking for? All set. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, let's go back to that. That took me back to like the control panel. So right-clicking automatically took me to background. So what do I do? I click on it?
I don't know. Oh! There we go. Apparently they like the space theme.
Yeah. Can you blame them?
No.
So all this stuff is included. That's pretty cool. Any of those stand out to you, Kelsey?
I like the black and white park bench.
Yeah. Okay. Select that. And there we go.
There it is.
So there's our Zorin OS operating system, absolutely free. Comes with LibreOffice again. So I've got access to my Office documents. I've got Excel spreadsheet support. I haven't shown you that yet. It's called Calc. And I'll bring that up as well. And so you can breathe new life into your old computer because these applications will run on older systems for free. So you can download them from their respective websites. Again, links are going to be in the show notes on category5.tv for episode number 342. I'll close out of LibreOffice Writer. There's the Excel clone. Works just the same.
Looks basically the same.
Yep. Just the same sort of thing. And not only can you open, but say your friends use the actual Microsoft Excel, you can, in fact, save as XLS. Or, see, you can save as Excel spreadsheets.
So wanted to bring it to school or something, save as the normal save document, and
yeah, exactly.
There you go. You've
got something that you can transfer. Or if somebody emails you an Excel spreadsheet or something, you can open it.
It'll work as the same thing.
Save it as a PDF.
Yeah.
Do whatever you like. Yeah. Cool. So that is, just a real quick, I'm not giving tutorials on Linux tonight. It's just, I wanted you to see that there's an alternative out there that you can use that is available absolutely free. And there's just a plethora of Linux distributions that are available to you. And I'm going to have links for you in the show notes. Episode number 342 is what this is. And our website is category5.tv. So just look for that episode, click on the notes button, and you'll see all the links for all those distributions that we've looked at. And of course, in the chat room, if you've got your own suggestions, post those in the chat room, and then they will show up in the chat logs as well. So if you have a Linux distribution that you think is perfect for a Windows user who's migrating over from Microsoft Windows XP to Linux, I think that Xubuntu is probably the lightest weight of all the ones that I've looked at tonight. So that's the one that I would say, yeah, if you're using Microsoft Windows XP, you've got an older computer, that would be probably the one that I would expect is going to perform the best and be very, very usable, and comes with the support of Canonical. So there you go. Favorites, Kelsey?
I like the last one.
The last one, Zorin OS.
Zorin OS. That one was good. That one looked really nice.
Cool.
Linux Mint.
There's Zorin OS again.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I like that one.
Looks pretty sleek.
Yeah, it does.
Cool. Well, give it a try. Let us know what you decide. And certainly if you're moving over from Windows XP, don't feel like there's no hope for you as far as, if you're stuck because it costs so much to buy a new computer or you need to figure out what to do. Installing Linux is fairly simple, and we will happily walk you through it here on the show. And so once you've sort of selected the one that you're interested in, let's have a talk. Send in your questions live at category5.tv, and then tune into the live show or watch the show on demand through your Roku device or right on our website, category5.tv, and we'll be more than happy to walk you through and give you a hand.
Alrighty.
All right. Thanks, everybody. All set?
All set.
Here we go.
So here are the top stories from the category5.tv newsroom. Microsoft has more reasons to worry about Linux. Linux. After reports that an Indian state switched from Windows XP to Linux, now a UK-based organization is ditching Windows and going for Linux-based Chromebooks. Linux.
I'm gonna do that every single time. I'll be like, I just bing.
Linux. The London Borough of Barking and Dagenham is opening the Sourceway as it shifts away from Windows XP desktops in favor of 2,000 Samsung 303Cs Chromebooks for employees and 300 Chromeboxes for reception desk. I can't talk.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
Reception desks and shared work areas across the borough. The council claims the migration to help it save around 400,000 euros, half of the total cost by not choosing new Windows desktops, and a further 200,000 euros on electricity costs, with Chromebooks being more energy efficient than desktop PCs. The council earlier had 3,500 desktop computers and 800 laptops for its 3,500 employees. If all goes as planned, it expects to complete the migration to Chromebooks and Chromeboxes by early June.
Interesting. Okay, so these are Linux-based Chrome units.
Chrome unit, yeah.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, if it's the Chromebook OS. Okay, that's interesting. So they must be centralizing a lot of stuff, but cool that they're saving so much money by dropping Microsoft Windows.
Yeah.
Could come back to bite, but we'll see what happens.
Exactly.
I think it's good thing. Good thing. If the big companies are doing it, you can do it too. Promise you.
The discovery of bugs in software used to run oil rigs, refineries, and power plants has promoted a global push to patch the widely used control system. The bugs were found by security research and, if exploited, could give attackers remote access to control systems for the installations.
Yeah.
Oh. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security said an attacker with low skill would be able to exploit the bugs. The security researchers said we went from zero to total compromise. First released to run on Windows 98, and the Centium CS3000 software is used to monitor and control machinery in large industrial installations. Julian Diaz explained, if you are able to exploit the vulnerabilities we have identified, you get control of the human interface station. That's where the operator sits or stands and monitors operational details.
Holy cow.
I know. He continued, if you have control of that station as an attacker, you have the same level of control as someone standing on the plant floor wearing a security badge.
My, oh my.
About 7,600 plants around the world are using the vulnerable software. The software developers are now in the process of contacting customers who might be vulnerable and are urging those who were at risk to apply its patch.
Wow. Okay, so first of all, I would say, if you're thinking about exploiting this software hacker, just keep in mind that the quote is that it would be a low-skilled hacker.
So anyone could do it.
If you do it, then you are falling under that category.
Yeah.
That's kind of frightening. Also, these machines, I'm thinking, I can't help but think that they've taken control. These low-quality hackers or whatever, the low-skilled hackers. And that, to me, takes me to Total Recall on the planet Mars. And you just want to watch out for those because they're under the control of a low-skilled hacker.
Yeah, that might not be a good thing.
It might not be. Crazy that it's been in use for this many years and they didn't know about this seeming exploit that would allow me to take control. Well, not me, because I am a highly skilled hacker. But a low-skilled hacker could take control, and who knows what you could do at a power plant.
Yeah, there's a lot. Just shut down power to whole cities and all that other kind of stuff.
I don't even want to think about that.
No, that'd be really bad.
Because usually so you get some kid who can do that, because apparently that's the way it is. And maybe there's some other thing going on that they need the power out for, or something like that, or overload circuits, or who knows.
Yeah.
Hopefully they all get it fixed. Oh, what do you got?
A particular type of spiders has forced Mazda to issue a voluntary recall notice that it can apply a software to fix its cars.
Okay, sorry. A spider.
A spider. Spider did that.
Has caused Mazda to recall their cars?
Yeah.
You go on.
Okay. The yellow sac spider is attracted to the smell of gasoline and will weave its web at engines, causing a blockage and buildup of pressure, possibly leading to a cracked gas tank. Now, I'm not good with cars, but that doesn't sound good.
No.
Mazda has said that this could increase the risk of fire. A free software update will be applied to recalled cars to monitor the pressure level and warn drivers of any danger. Mazda said it is unaware of any fires being started due to the vulnerability, but it has been a problem that has plagued the company since at least 2009. Specifically, it is Mazda 6s from 2010 to 2012 range that are covered by this latest recall. According to Wikipedia, the yellow sac spider is primarily found in northern Europe to Japan and from southern Africa to India and Australia. That's
wow. I don't even want to comment as
very.
Let's move on.
Yes. Let's. All right.
Hey, there's a cool kid.
Yeah. A 5-year-old boy who worked out a security vulnerability in Microsoft's Xbox Live service has been officially thanked by the company.
A low-skilled hacker.
That is low-skilled.
That's the kid who's hacking into the power plants. There he is.
Christopher Von Hassel from San Diego figured out how to log into his dad's account without the right password. The boy worked out that entering the wrong password into the login screen would bring up a second password verification screen. Christopher discovered that if he simply pressed the space bar to fill out the password field, the system would let him into his dad's account.
Are you serious?
That's it?
Wow.
That's all it takes?
How did that exploit get in there? Oh yeah, just push space a whole bunch of times.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Good old Microsoft and their security.
Microsoft has fixed the flaw and added Christopher to its list of recognized security researchers.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Dad must be proud.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the last story?
That's the news.
That's it from the Category5.tv newsroom.
Thank you.
Newsroom.category5.tv if you want to follow the whole stories. And of course you can email us newsroom@category5.tv if you've got a noteworthy story that you'd like to include right here on the air. Well, I want to show you the Roku because this thing is just awesome. And if you're watching on Roku, you're just like, yeah, duh. There it is. I've got the Roku 2, and the reason that I went with the Roku 2 is I didn't want the Roku 1 because I wanted this headphone jack. Imagine a remote control that has a built-in headphone jack.
Oh.
Okay.
So if they're napping. Kids are napping.
You can put on a show and listen to it with headphones, walk around the house. I don't know how it works because this has never died on me yet. The batteries haven't died. I've listened to it all the time, and my MP3 player only lasts a day.
Yeah.
My iPod lasts 20 minutes. How this thing works, I don't know. It's plutonium or something. But it's got a headphone jack, and it's got excellent sound. That's one of the selling points that sold me on the Roku 2 versus the Roku 1. But also, didn't want the Roku 3 because I've got some older TVs around the house that I want to be able to plug the Roku into if I want the kids to be able to watch Netflix or whatever else. And it gives them access via either the old style composite, not component, but composite, the RCA red, yellow, and white cable, or HD up to 1080p through HDMI. Right. So decent. So what is the Roku? I'm actually going to bring it up on the screen here. There you go. It's basically, it's just a set-top box that gives you access to so many things. If I jump into the channel store, you can see that there are just, there's featured channels, MLB, UFC, lots of sports I can see. Kids
Blackjack
shows. Blackjack, if you've got a Roku 3, you can play games and stuff. Roku 3 does have some great selling points. Go to cat5.tv/Roku, and I've written up a little bit of a blurb about the advantages and disadvantages of the 4 main units that are currently available. The streaming stick, which just plugs into your TV directly through HDMI, so it's nice and convenient if you've got a TV mounted on the wall, because then you don't have any cables. The Roku 1, the Roku 2, and the Roku 3, and what makes them different. So those are all the information is available at cat5.tv/Roku. This is the online channel store through the Roku device, and you'll see if you go to new channels that Category 5 TV is in fact there, and you can actually install that. So if you haven't already done that and you've got a Roku, please do. You'll also find it in various places. On this device, it shows up in Internet TV, for example. So you can go to Internet television shows, and here you go. There's Category 5 Technology TV. So there we are. But you see that there are a ton of other shows, lots of shows that you are no doubt familiar with. I saw Twit above there, and it loops around. I just saw the Tech Buzz, TTB Network. Let's see what else we've... And so many recognizable channels.
Mm-hmm.
TED Talks, for example, CNET. Daily Motion, Revision 3 is another great one. So you just kind of scroll through and you can add anything you want. And they are well categorized. So if you're looking for food channels, there you go. If you're looking for sports, there you go. Because one of the things, as you cut the cable, well, am I going to be able to watch my sports? Well, Roku is a device that is going to be able to provide that for you. Weather and news and all these different categories. So I want to bring up Roku on my computer through the channel store. And again, I've got links to that at cat5.tv/Roku just to make it really, really simple for you. And show you just how that works. As we head over to our website, cat5.tv/Roku, there are my reviews of each device, and then there's a link for us in the channel store. When you're at the channel store, check out what can happen if you click on Browse up at the top here. Now we've got the list of all the different categories up here at the top. So if we go into Science and Technology, you see that there are TED, CNET, all those kinds of things. And you can actually click on a show and you can add the channel. So there's an add button. You can actually put it on your device. Or if you have the channel code, you can in fact click on the channel code and just add it to your device. Really, really cool. One of the things that's neat about Roku is that now I'm showing you all the official channels and the fact that these channels are available in the channel store. You'll see them as you browse. But there are also private channels, and the Roku supports private channels so that you have access to content that maybe cannot be displayed in the public approved kind of channel store, but you can get access to it by other means. So you can do a Google search for Roku private channels. You'll find some things, whatever your favorite search engine is. One that seems to work really well is streamfree.tv. Streamfree.tv, just like it sounds. And if you click on Free Roku Private, you'll see that you can look at all private channels or by category. And if you go into by category, you can see all these different categories. And this is just one result that you'll see in Google. So if you go into, say, Science and Technology, you'll see that Category 5 isn't here, but these are other channels that are available on your Roku, but they're private. So they're not available in the channel store. So I can click on, NASA, for example, and I can add live streaming from NASA to my Roku box just by clicking on to add it. And it's asking me to log in. So I'm going to jump over to Firefox because I've actually got access to my Roku account from Firefox rather than Chrome. Here we go. So if I choose one, let's say NASA, there we go. Oh, I got to sign in. I talked too long. That's all.
Yeah.
So it's waiting for me to enter my info. There we go. Okay, now I'm in. So by clicking on that, now I've got do you want to add this? Yes, I do. So, and even though this is not available in the channel store, I can find it over there at streamfree.tv, or I can find them through Google by searching for Roku private channels, and I can add channels that are not available in the public channel store. Very cool to be able to do that. And you find some, even some channels that are maybe beta testing and they're not really ready for public consumption, but they're still really good channels and you want to be able to get it. There's a lot of live stuff that's available as well through private channels. Netflix is available in the channel store, and you see that I've got it installed. Now, I've got a Roku too, so Netflix on my device... Oh, and I'm in the channel store, pardon me. I want to go back to my channels. There we are. So if I bring up Netflix... The issue on the Roku 2 and Roku 1, I believe the streaming stick as well, they're slower devices, so you don't get the new Netflix experience, so there are no profiles. So you'll see, for example, recently watched by Mummy and Daddy, SpongeBob,
Saw Doctor Who in there too.
Doctor Who, that really was Mummy and Daddy. But all these other ones, You can see that the kids have gone in and been watching stuff. That one was me. That one was me. So there are advantages to the Roku 3 because it comes with the new Roku or the new Netflix channel. So you have profiles and you can select which profile you want to use. These other devices are quite a bit slower. They don't see you see that they don't perform slowly, just that the processors themselves are slower, even though perceptively we see that it runs really, really fast. So when companies like Netflix develop their software, they can only do so much with the Roku 2 versus the Roku 3. So that's why there's quite a bit of a feature gap between them. But it works fantastically well, plays really well, remembers your spot. So you can see that it's waiting for me to play episode number 210. That's the one we'll be watching tonight. Go back to my home screen. Notice that I'm operating everything directly from this nice little remote. Really, really easy to use.
Only a couple buttons.
It really is. And here we go. So I'm gonna actually jump up to Category 5 Technology TV because I told you we would take a look at this channel because a lot of you haven't got your Rokus yet. You can pick one up at cat5.tv/Roku and you'll see that we've got all episodes. This is cool because if you go to all episodes, you can go through the current season, but you can go all the way back season 6, season 5, season 4, season 3, season 2, and season 1, all the way back to 2007 with our very first episode. And every available episode is available on Roku. And you can watch it up on your TV. So that's really, really cool. Big feat. And, again, huge thanks to Jot for one of our community viewers who helped us to put that together. Sort by co-host. This is cool, Kelsey. All the Kelsey Jensen fans can jump over to Kelsey. There we go. You've only been on one episode before.
That's okay.
So
this one will be in there too.
This one will be in there too after tonight. But you can see that as you choose a co-host, you can actually watch any episode that had that co-host on it. That's kind of cool. You can watch live, as many of you are right now, and you'll see that we are currently on the air. And there are some special features behind the scenes, things that you've never seen before. Also recordings of our Google Plus Hangouts. So if you have ever participated in a Google Plus Hangout, those are available for you as archives. And if you've never participated, it's a little bit of fun. And it's almost like our Hangouts tend to be a little bit like a very laid-back episode of the show in a way, because it's so interactive, because we're actually chatting with you, and we have a lot of fun answering your questions. And sometimes it's slow, there might be 1 or 2 people, sometimes there are 10 people, and we have a good time. And I fully expect that when we hold another one, that we'll see a lot of people join us, and we invite you to join us for that. So I love that there are the Backstage Pass features, tour the studio, and just a variety of different things that you haven't ever seen anywhere else. And those are available to you on our Roku channel. So there you have it. And I'm the developer, and so I've had to teach myself BrightScript, and it's been a lot of fun and learning how to program this thing. Love the device, I'll just mention. So I know that you who are using Roku are absolutely in love with the thing. And I got to say, as a developer and a programmer and a broadcaster, it's a fantastic platform. I love it. And it's so nice to have you joining us. And if you haven't got your Roku yet, again, get over to our website through this link, cat5.tv/Roku, and find out all the information. You can actually buy them right there, and you'll be just loving this thing. And that's the interface. It's really, really easy to use. And that's, that's Category 5, and this is only going to grow. We're just going to be adding features and making it better and better. And then, of course, you go through the channel store and pick the shows that you like. And I've basically just been putting any on there just to see how it works. And if you want to be able to stream files from your computer, I installed the channel called My Media, and you put a tool on a Windows computer somewhere on your network, and it allows it to stream your video files directly to the Roku as well, which is kind of nice. Roku 3 has USB jack, so you can plug in a flash drive or something or an external hard drive with your video files, and that's a lot better because you don't need to do the networking aspect, but at least there is a way around it. So
yeah,
cool. Well, this is Category 5 Technology TV. It's really nice to see you, Kelsey. Nice to see you. So
we welcome our newly registered viewers.
Yeah, there's been a few of you this week. I noticed that the list is quite long. We should probably... Wow, we're going to have to do this really, really fast,
yeah.
All right, go for it.
All right.
Welcome.
So, we welcome Fixin' Stuff,
BW Withage,
George Crawford Inn,
Brain, Q49 Lamb,
G-Man,
Carl W. Campbell,
Woo, Adelaide,
Adelaide BKM, I guess, and V7 BBD. I guess that's his license plate number.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. Nice to have you here. Anyways. Hello, Zoran Soon. Nice to see ya.
Jim 7
And Florida Bob.
Fast Cat 666.
Thorneo. We had a question from him
Yes,
tonight.
we did.
Nice to see ya.
TSL 247.
Farmer Indy. Thanks for the
Close
easy to
enough.
pronounce names, guys. Nice to see ya.
Spurnoga.
And Kevin 48.
Songbird. That one's pretty good.
Tool 916.
Coral.
I would say Kjorl. Kjorl. Is that-
Coral.
All right. And
that.
Steve G2. Nice to have you
Marcus
join us.
Howard.
Bigum.
Horizon.
Butler Jazz.
Chloe UK.
And finally, Tedson52. One of these days, someone is going to pull a Bart Simpson on us and register, Seymour Butt Kiss or something. And we're going to say hello to you. But it's so nice to have you joining us. And, of course, it's free to register on our website, category5.tv. We love having you as a part of our community. Get into the chat room throughout the week because, we tend to come in and out of the chat room, but there are always people there that want to say hi to you. And you can certainly talk about the show. Also, if you enjoyed this show, if you enjoyed other episodes of Category 5, please go to our website. If you're watching on Roku, you notice those 5 stars. In order to rate our show, you have to go to our website, category5.tv, and you'll see the stars on every episode. You can choose 1 to 5 stars. But that said, if you want to rate the show itself in the channel store, I'd encourage you to do that. You can follow the link at cat5.tv/Roku to our channel store entry directly. You can vote directly on your Roku device in the channel store. Pretty easy stuff. So
Sounds pretty
we
good.
appreciate it. It's nice to see you rating us and enjoying the show. Well, thanks, everybody. We are completely out of time. Can't believe it. I've got lots of your viewer questions that came in this week, and we're going to actually do a viewer question extravaganza next week, and we're going to go through those, so don't miss next week's show. We're going to take care of those for you. We're going to get rid of all this flickery goodness, and we're going to have... Yeah, it'll still be fun. It'll still be fun, even if you're not here. But this was good.
Thank you.
Did you have fun?
Yes, I had lots of fun.
Good. You have fun? They said yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I'll
they said
say
they
every
had a
single
great
one of them
time.
said yes.
It was like the board. Yes. All at once. Everybody at once. So have a fantastic week. Hope to see you on our Roku channel. And I guess we'll talk to you in 1 week's time.
All right.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed the show. Category 5 TV broadcasts live from Barrie, Ontario, Canada every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you're watching this on demand or through cable TV, check out the local show times in your area at category5.tv and find out when you can watch live and interact in the community chat room. Category 5 is a production of Prodigy Digital Solutions and is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 2.5 Canada. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.